Welcome, boys and girls, to the playoffs of DreamLeague. We're going to start off with TeamSpirit versus XG.Ame. We've got an XM Zeus on our hands versus a Yatoro Morphling. Avery, how you feeling about this game?
It's going to get spicy. These are two drafts that, outside of the Leshrac, you're kind of playing for those late game team fights.
Heads up.
There's
30
not
seconds.
a lot of early aura buyers, not a lot of heroes that want to skirmish really heavy that early. Again, unless Laurel just goes Super Saiyan this game, I feel like we're going to go late. We're going to see a bunch of these fights centered around the Roshan. Both these teams really want Aegises on their carries here. And whenever you're playing Zeus, Faceless, Void for the support Terrorblade, you got to be thinking about going late. This is not a lineup for XG that is going to take early towers and go high ground league saw. When Ame was playing that Terrorblade, under 30 minutes.
Copyright 2022.
Extreme tried to go for a late smoke wrap play to see if they could get a first blood somewhere in there, but fortunately breaks on mid a little bit, and then it breaks even further on Yatoro, who had a very defensive ward for himself. So XG.Ame, who I believe is the team that fails to get first blood the most.
Clump it runes. Tournament 2, they tend to just split up, and usually when you split up, if somebody else groups, you're just going to feed it away. Yeah. Which I still don't really understand why teams do that, but yeah, power to them, you know, I guess it's working out.
It's gotten them this far, that's for sure. Though it is funny, if they get first blood, they go 9-1. 9-1 when they get first blood. So I don't know if that stat reached to XG.Ame and maybe why they did that late smoke there or what. But I mean, you talked extensively about the impact of first blood and what it can do to lanes that are previously advantageous but kind of get flipped on their side when first blood gets given away.
These free rune fights matter a lot. They can just ruin games straight up. Generally, if you want to go late game, you should not engage in them, because the chance something goes wrong for you is extremely detrimental, whereas it going right for you doesn't change a lot. And if you're the team with faster pace, you want something to happen.
Right.
So if XG are a team that prefer to play a slower game for Ame, you know, they've played Faces Void a bunch, they played Sniper a bunch, then it would make sense to some degree that they don't necessarily go searching for these things. Just not, the payoff just isn't as good compared to someone like, you know, Gaiman, who's played a lot faster on average, or some of the more aggressive teams like Bet Boom, for example, still in the tournament. But so far, lane's looking pretty good here.
Yeah,
for Spirit on the CS board. And the panel was talking about the Zeus versus things like the Sniper and the Lina. It is interesting because I think all those types of heroes have... What is happening here?
He is not quite going to have enough to be able to run him down. Gets really good damage, and now actually the blood grenade is going to go the other way. The time dilation is taking
knocked him in
on Mira, knocks him through the trees to get on top of Mira, but neither. Oh, he actually does manage to get the reflection comes out and finishes off Mira. So first blood goes to DY and XG.Ame.
It's a little weird from Spirit there. I think you just go on eat DY or just let the Lion do his thing, but ends up kind of backfiring that entire sequence. And now we'll get some meta usage. Someone else. I mean, does DY die here? That's a big question. When the Lion comes back, it's close.
Yeah, it does.
So you feed it right back during the meta. Kind of a sloppy death by DY. Spirit will take advantage of it.
Yeah, coming back with meta on cooldown. It's got to kind of hurt your laning phase. They're going to try and run down Maposhka. Oh, got the disruption off just in time, and he got the Lotus away from them. Nice little twofer there from Maposhka. Big plays.
Definitely some value there. Lane's going well, particularly this mid. I think Laurel is doing tremendous in this lane. Zeus is a high base damage hero. Sometimes he can win these matchups.
Yeah.
But so far, Laurel having a near perfect CS. I think this Zeus matchup is very interesting because I actually still think this hero is unexplored in the later game item builds.
Yeah, I think very favorably of this hero.
Yeah, I think it is almost 99% of the time you should go this Shard Manta, because he becomes a ghost lane shover. He becomes one of the fastest creep clears in the game, and that's acceleration. It's also just extra stats, tank ability, scouting illusions, all the side benefits. But that build allows you to go some of these late game builds that I think people, once again, have unexplored and are unused to. You can end up on like Hurricane Pike Scotty on this hero, and it's no joke. I'm serious when I mean like it destroys some of these late game magic heroes where you get piked away by Zeus, he hits you, you're getting shard blasted, you're getting nuked. It's a crazy amount of burst damage, and it pumps the hero's tank ability up to where you jump this hero, you're not necessarily just killing him right away.
Yeah.
And I think that type of build thrives for Leshrac.
Nice
I don't know
catch. That was great. I was wondering how they got that kill, but it looks like Hoodwink just surprised Yutoro there.
We've seen a lot of Morphling lane deaths this tournament, honestly. More than I think in a lot of other metas.
I mean, this is a tough Morphling game because, like they were talking about on the panel, they had some great analysis there. The Morphling versus Faceless Void matchup, like a big strength of it right now is the fact that you now have this new Conda build to play with, right? But that also comes alongside of you remaining very low HP to be able to output the amount of burst damage you need to blow up a hero, which just leaves Zeus in a good spot. Both the magic burst, but also the build you're talking about, right? Like the right-click build that you eventually go to as Zeus turns you. It's very good against these high agility heroes that have a lot of base armor.
This is not a game where Spirit are going to really build a pipe on anybody either. They have 3 cores that want to get in there, deal damage. Again, there's no distinct aura buyer here, so that helps Zeus as well. He's not going to be playing up against an insane amount of magic resist this game. That always feels nice. Let's see what direction XM decides to go here, but of course he usually has his own idea and his own builds.
I think so I was looking over his build. His build is exactly what you always advocate for, where you get the phylactery, which I think the phylactery is like a great bonus to Zeus. I mean, you're a hero that's based off of magic burst damage. You should want that. Mira's going to go down to the bottom lane. He just gets that phylactery, and then he goes straight to the shard manta.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want something really specific or you're playing the hero for a different pathway, if you're playing him to scale, that is how you have early game impact and still get there.
This is what XM has done in his last 5 pub games. A quick note, though, the last 3 were all L's. So,
well, what can you do? I mean, that's where you blame the team and you move on.
He also hasn't played it since Bepum Dacha, so he hasn't played it at this event. They brought it back, so maybe that's something that they have a little bit more confidence again after some bad strays there. Mira will go down.
Really messing Mira up. He does get the obs ward, so at least something for his trouble there, but that is a 3rd death for the Lion. Another support rotation down here. Q getting very active early, and they're looking for the 7-minute Wisdom Rune. It gets scanned out by Spirit.
Probably hoping
you got to TP somebody in to fight this if you want to control it.
Yeah,
or you can split it.
Just going to go take the Wisdom Rune on the enemy side. Or maybe try both. Bushwhack grabs him just before he gets speared away. DY does manage to grab the Wisdom Rune, so it is still a split because Maposhka was taking theirs. They're going to get some decent damage on Collapse on their way out, too. Oh, Ame's going to join in on this. Time dilation. That is a bit surprising to go for it.
Who's sold, that's why.
Yeah.
You get him 100 lower, he's burnt out there.
And they're going to keep going at it. They turn back around underneath the tower. XM joins them. He's got the Thunder God's Wrath timed, and Mira. Oh, he gets snagged. Fortunately, he has the stick, and now it's going to be the Hoodwink that just might die. Q does end up dying to the tower.
Okay. Mira gets his revenge. I think if XM committed there, they would have gotten him too. But just thought the Bushwhack wasn't going to land.
Yeah.
A little miscommunication. Nonetheless, the tower being hit down by this catapult the entire time. Ame gets the last hit. That is an incredible sequence for XG here. Now, you did trade Wisdom Rune on the other side. You stole enemy Wisdom Rune, got a Mars kill, pushed the line to base. Your Hoodwink dies, but he's not that satisfied about it, and you get a tier 1 for a Void of all heroes. I don't know the stat on Faceless Void getting the first tower in a Dota game, what that win rate looks like, but it's got to be insanely high just because it's probably almost never happened compared to most other carries.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't happen. Like, this is a hero that is supposed to get bullied off his lane by tempo creators, by all the good spellcasters, the Night Stalkers, the Beastmasters, the Venos of the world historically. Instead, he's taking your tier 1.
This is just the impact of a lot of little things building up, right? It's Terrorblade's laning phase presence, plus he helps you push the tower. It's the tri-lane rotation that happens early on, and then it's the mid rotation added on top of that. Just a lot of little things all add up to a laning phase advantage that gives Ame clear runway now.
And the kill threat for Collapse is not there because, one, he doesn't have Arena, but when this Void's ahead of you in levels, he still has Fairy Fire Wand. even a little extra HP here from the Seeds, the Serenity, so not an easy target to go on and burst for Spirit unless they're willing to commit the Leshrac rotation into this bottom lane and push this tower. And we've seen XG commit resources into Ame's Faceles Void before. It's undefeated this event. There's a reason why. They almost always make sure his laning phase is good because they understand the strengths that this hero will pay it off later down the road.
You can tell Dire's middle tower is
Absolutely not afraid to pseudo trialing for this hero. And in fact, look at the smoke on the map right now. It's 2 more heroes coming down bottom. They refuse to give Collapse any presence down here versus the Void.
I also love this play, setting up the Void, yeah. But I also love shutting down Mars. This hero has been way too impactful at this tournament.
I think it's a good game plan here. I mean, what are you trading? You're trading presence for your top net worth Primal Beast?
Yeah.
XXS is still just free farming this map right now. I guess the trade-off is you're giving space to the Morphling, who's in theory getting a lot more solo XP than the Void, and you know is getting up there in net worth past that first early death. But
and maybe if you had more stacks, then the Leshrac would be ahead of the Zeus, but it looks like he hasn't really managed to take advantage of all this free space he's had mid. Hasn't taken the tower and hasn't gotten a net worth lead.
I mean, this is where you want to be if you're XG right now. And you're closing in on Phylactery for Zeus. The faster you get this item up, the more he can win these early fights, which snowballs him faster to his farming items, and the hero just comes online. They have a little bit of stacks. 7 off the Shadowed even? Not the worst.
All right, so this will help get Laurel back ahead of the Zeus.
And some extra experience for the supports here.
Yeah. Trying to get them to their 6s. Can't forget that we do have, you know, it's no Lion Storm Spirit, but Lion Leshrac is pretty decent duo.
Dire's middle tower is insured.
Sacrifices the Cobalt. That's GPM, man.
And he leaves the healing style for him.
Laurel just commissars his Cobalt into the camp. I mean, what can you do?
Unpopular.
Here's a gate rotation.
Sacrifices must be made, brother. Utoro didn't expect him to be so far out in lane, but it may not matter. There's the 5-man rotation. He's got one waveform to use, and he was trying to save it for getting over the cliff, but obviously he wasn't going to make it that far. Too much damage. Extreme Gaming, another heavy rotation, and TeamSpirit not really keeping up, though maybe they just shouldn't try.
I mean, you need to get something on the map. I think the trade-off is if you make a 5-man rotation for the carry, then this Lesh should be hitting a tower with Edict. This just happened while they were doing that stack, so the Lesh needs to refill resources. He needs to get back on the map. And by the time you're in mid lane with Laurel, heroes can rotate back. In fact, 12-minute power will be contested as well here for XM, though he has 0 mana. Ame looking for a solo kill?
Dire's top tower just went brick belly.
Yeah, does have the Master Madness, so he does have the damage potential if he gets lucky.
Huge smoke for Spirit right here. They need to break something open in this early game. They need to get this Lesh onto a tower. They're going to bring him bottom. This is a big move for Laurel in the first 50 minutes.
Is he going to stay greedy? Oh, his team's going to come to him, so maybe DY breaks this for him.
Feels like XG no.
Yeah, they're coming in with so many heroes now.
They're
cutting through the jungle. They're going to Collapse. Collapse is going to get ganked first. His team is behind the tower. He said, boys, I thought we were ganking this guy. They're killing me instead. What happened?
They have really focused down this Mars this game. And when that tier 1 tower is dead, these ganks are just safe. There's no response that can come out. So XG just continue to poke at the weak point here. Like that was a kill that you didn't even have to commit chrono for. Ame wisely holds it. You still have that threat on the map. The Void dodges that smoke gank. You have an Arcane Rune on a Leshrac right now, and he's losing his mid tower to a Primal Beast who rushed Eternal Shroud. It's done in 13 minutes here.
That is an aim to Leshrac right there.
That is insane. What do you do versus this right now?
I don't think you can touch this guy.
Yeah, I don't think he's killable. I think if Lesh runs at this Primal, he will drain his entire mana pool before this Primal dies.
It's possible. And just drop it. Hasn't had a chance to use his Chronosphere just yet. Holding Collapse long enough in place for the Zeus rotation to come through. XM now dominating, and XXS is going to get involved now. Gets XM yet another kill.
Yeah, nice.
Under God's wrath.
Nice nuke damage there. XXS did not even notice. He just got lightning.
Oh, almost got him.
This game is game is turning very favorable for XG right now. They're the tankiest hero on the map, they have the highest damage hero on the map, and they have a free farm Faceless Void between their 3 cores.
Yeah, what does TeamSpirit have?
They have Yatoro.
Sometimes that's enough.
It's not a bad thing to have. He's still keeping up in farm. He's gonna have to, I think, come into this game earlier than maybe he would have liked, though, in an ideal scenario. Because you can't just keep giving up all this space. And that point at which he chooses to do so is probably gonna have to be the back of a 4-man fight from Spirit that is catching multiple heroes in an arena. You have the blink for collapse, it's just finished. So you gotta get this arena in the game. You gotta find either the Void off an initiation and burst him, chain stun the Zeus / Hoodwink. You can find the damage on the backside. I don't think you can go on this Primal. I think XXS is going to push himself up there and tempt you, but 2600 HP with an Eternal Shroud at this point is just nasty.
Time dilation could be very sick. Like, obviously, it's one of the better ways Morphling counters Faceless Void, but if he gets it on the Zeus as well, that could be pretty helpful in these fights.
If Yatoro can find that, it's huge. We've seen how much dilation is done for Ame in the early game here. It's going to be great for Yatoro as well, and he'll take that freebie. Nothing big committed either.
Oh, maybe it's not so free, though. XM spots the supports, already down to half health. And Extreme just getting damage in from a distance here until XXS. Now he can come through. Oh, Blink just outside of that onslaught.
To get mid-tower off that, so Spirit to get a little something here. That was a big bushwhack by Xinkyu. I think there's a world collapse commits with the Blink Arena on the Zeus if they don't get some damage there to cancel it. I don't know if it would have ended too well for him, but you gotta take what you can get.
Pinned. Speared through the chest. He'll die. Now Collapse is going to find himself electrified by the Zeus, so he's not getting out of here. Time dilation coming in from Ame. Goes to Maposhka. They can't fight XXS, so it looks like Maposhka's going to just get trampled upon.
It's so hard to make these aggressive plays when XG can respond. It just sets the fight up for whoever's not there, which they have a lot of high damage sources right now. And every fight Ame can join, and he gets kills, and he doesn't have to use Chrono. It's just easy mode right now. How you have a blink on this Primal. He was a problem on the front line. Now he's going to be on your back line. And the Zeus is just combing through this map right now. Shard done, Phylactery done. He's already third of the way to this Manta.
Yeah. Once like you get that shard, it helps you farm so much if you have control of the map, because like most of the time you have a little bit of mana problems, but obviously with the shard,
yeah, that's the biggest thing. You can farm as fast as you can using your entire mana pool without using your mana pool, which means you're ready to join any sort of fight or skirmish. Another huge benefit of that build. Shield Rune on Laurel with Voodoo Mask.
Is he going to be able to get it off? He's going to be grabbed, pulverized to the ground, pulled in by the bushwhack, and shot through by Xinkyu.
No chance. They're going to look to defend as well. This is
DY will be putting himself out there saying, yeah, you guys can go on me if you want. And that sort of bait would set up Ame if they ended up going on him for a Chronosphere, but not the case. Spirit, maybe just so fearful of this extreme lead that they have right now.
It's just been a great early game for XG. Really showcasing what they can do when everything's coming together. They've played around the right heroes at the right points. They've shut down TeamSpirit's moves, made the first moves versus a lot of those smokes. Got some really valuable early T1s and have played aggressively in TeamSpirit's side of the jungle. Just punished the fact that Yatoro hasn't been able to find the same teamfight impact that Ame has so far. And they just could not get kills on XXS like Collapse faced in that early game. He's got 4 deaths in this game. It's just been catch-up for him. Stealing some stacks would be a nice find. I mean, he would love to kill the Zeus here, but there's no help.
Without Spear, that is an impossibility here.
I mean, this is a tank.
Still gonna stick around waiting for the rotation of Laurel.
This is a kill they really want because they know this is the solo on the map.
They thought XM was leaving. They want to be able to catch him now. Laurel is within striking distance. XM trying to fight back. Goes for the hop. Doesn't dodge the spear, but with Ame coming in, Larl's like, sorry, man, I can't take that fight with you.
And this is where I talk about this. Zeus tanks up more than people expect. He doesn't even have that many. He has 2,000 HP with 15 armor.
Yeah.
That's a double damage Mars with double bracer. He deals half his HP. You need the Lesh there for that entire kill. Things are not connecting right now for Spirit, but they are down 5k. Not insurmountable.
You've got Bloodstone on Leshrac, but Spirit Vessel is already done by DY. Whoops. Bit of a miss there. But it doesn't matter, perhaps. Okay. XM is a little skittish. Maybe for the best. Laurel is within the neighborhood.
BKB on the way. Doesn't even need it, huh? It's a nice BKB game for sure. And Mjolnir done. That is a very fast timing for this Void.
Gonna be lightning all over the battlefield. Lightning Storm, all of Zeus, Mjolnir. In another situation where Laurel cannot back up his teammates because XG.Ame just using overwhelming force as these kills come in.
Have to find some overextension or something. Make XG into a bad fight. Set it up for the Morphling and the Lesh to get the damage out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best situation, right? If they dive into the tier 2 area, then Morphling has a better chance of getting a good time dilation on Extreme, which goes a long way. BKB, next item for XXS. He has indeed not died since he picked up that Eternal Shroud, and the BKB will just cement that.
The Zeus build is online. These waves are going to start getting shoved a lot more, which could, in theory, set up a lot more vision and control on the map for XG. Push fast. They're undealt with. Spirit do have some ways to kill them. But it's not really about you wanting to go and kill Zeus solutions. It's just extra GPM for XM right now. In a game where he's been untouched 7-0, and they're looking at Roshan. They can do it pretty fast here with the Lightning Boys.
Yep, both of them do a pretty decent amount. If you want to pop the Manta for some extra damage, they can.
And I mean,
Not necessary.
You can choose who you want to give this Aegis to on. I feel like you probably are going Ame here, but if Ame just wants to farm this game, you give it to somebody else to go fight. It's another route you can go. Depends on how.
Oh, that happened! It happened. You know it was gonna happen eventually. It's the Trials of Plague Morphling versus Zeus. Oh, he's mad.
That is a how did he see me? How did he know?
Yeah, he had no vision. What?
Well,
what?
He might have glimpsed it off a TB illusion that was near that ancient spot. That's the only thing I saw on the map.
Yeah.
I don't know if it gave vision for a brief second. I also might have just been a scouting ult because we're rushing. Let's see where they are, you know?
Yeah, that's what I
might have just been bad luck. The only thing I saw remotely close there was that TB illusion. But I think Yatoro...
They
immediately smoke up while Yatoro is still dead. They're going to go for it. Arena? No, hop outside of it. They'll get DY. He'll burn out, but not a problem here because XG.Ame very happy with this initiation. XX has already brought down Mapochka. Ame's looking for the Chronosphere. He has the Aegis, so even if they kill him here, still has a chance to get it off. Bushwhack holds Laurel in, but it looks like they're going to be able to make an escape before Ame is back up and can stop their further retreat.
Didn't want to chrono those two there. Kind of interesting with the SD dead, there's no save. Maybe just too low resources on the Zeus, but that'll be a free Aegis to the side of TeamSpirit. They did not give up much to snag that.
Yeah, 1 for 2.
Pressure.
Yeah, DY pinging there. They got to have a lane ward, guys. No, not the case. TeamSpirit just made a bold smoke play. And
yeah, I mean, XM just soul read the best carry player in the world, so what can you do, you know? Ame might have to lower him a little bit on that tier list. I don't know if an S tier carry would have died to that wrath.
This couple that greatest love affair Dota 2 has had. Somebody's going to be heartbroken after the end of this one because somebody is getting eliminated. Yatoro, or is it Ame? Up by 7K, not the worst for TeamSpirit, especially if they can connect on one of these smoke gangs team-wide. He just keeps on running into them, and that's okay for Extreme. They're well positioned to be able to put the damage in and put Collapse down. Now wait for him on through. Chronosphere does land. He'll flat bash down Maposhka, bludgeon Mira to death, and now look for some more. Laurel and Utoro already out, though.
Another move that XG just... The read is too easy for them.
Oh, yeah.
They're just planning there. They break with the hero that they don't give a damn about. And then you get the Terrorblade low. You don't even want to go in that fight because he's just going to sunder whoever jumps next. And the second you get broke like that, Thunder's God Wrath goes out, Acorn, XXS charges in, that fight is over.
And when you've got this much, when you're up by this much, any sort of additional catch you have is so scary. And that is a new item right there. The Gleipnir now adds a lot to Jin Q. We also have the BKB for XXS, so he can all in somebody, right? He can just blink, BKB, grab Laurel, bam, 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 you know, do what he can.
Feels like Spirit are just running out of plays to make here.
Yeah.
Like, these keep going this wrong. BKB done for XM, so they're going to have triple BKB cores here in the next minute.
Like, I got to question how many, like, smokes they even have left
on
TeamSpirit, right?
These BKBs are just going to prevent a lot of your comeback potential off some of the spell damage.
Disruption only sets up XXS as he is going to squash Maposhka.
I've liked this Vessel Terrorblade the more I watch it. Just being able to reflect a core in the fight and toss this Vessel on him it's a debilitating amount of damage.
Yeah.
Very obnoxious. You're slowed, you're not healing, you're ticking down.
For the right carries, for sure.
I mean, yeah, for the more Fleshes game, it's just immense value.
Those guys are not happy with this matchup at all.
Dire's middle tower is taking one hell of a beating. Dire's middle tower.
It's a blink for Laurel. They're going to try and find the damage dealers here. The Hoodwink, the Zeus, Terrorblade. You have to find these, or you somehow find Ame and just chain stun him down. That is
set up on bottom lane. Trying to trade tier 2s right now, but XXS is... He was setting up. Maybe his team wasn't ready to rotate for it. He just backs away, cleans up the wave as it pushes into the tier 3. But, oh, Extreme are going to make this move. Instead of teleporting to tier 2, they're going to backstab TeamSpirit. And XXS is going to lead the way, but he did manage to get out the more strength onto Utoro. They spot out Mira. Ooh, doesn't quite hit the stun there. Ame, he'll get the bastions eventually and bring down Mira. Looking for Utoro. Oh, got him on the onslaught. Utoro's not getting away. XXS just robbed him of that escape. And now they'll take his life if they can catch up to him. Oh no, the time dilation slowing down Extreme in their chase. XM will catch up.
That's a hard
hero. They can't get there.
I mean, you got a chrono meter. Problem is you can't catch the chrono because he's as fast as you are.
Yeah, it just keeps on waveforming and time walking and waveforming and time walking.
And he's going. Still finding farm on this morph. Big question. Like, what do you hit here to try and take that fight and turn this game around? He's not going this Conda build, so you're not going to have some crazy burst damage. He is going the right-click morph, trying to meet these heroes head-on. And it'll be the Parasma build-up for XM. So when I was talking about, you know, the weird way you can itemize this hero, like, there's so many routes you can go, but it's definitely one of the ones that it's going to cause problems if you can land these right clicks on you with a Parasma on these cores and you can't debuff it at any point. Absolutely going to melt because you're going to have a Shiva's on top of the Primal as well. So you're going to have stacking Magic Amp on the side with XG here to throw into that fight. Buff the Zeus up, buff the Primal up, buff the Hoodwink up. Double Maelstrom build between the Void and the Hoodwink getting thrown into that as well. And again, you don't have a pipe buyer.
So normally he goes Dragonlance as part of his build, but I guess he doesn't need to with a Morphling Leshrac. Oh, that was almost a 3-man. Instead it's a 1-man, but that's okay. BKB gets him the important kill. That's going to be Laurel. A lot of their damage is out now, and TeamSpirit, they're going to have to get out of here. XXS slowed down by the Purge.
Terrorblade from
behind with a Sentry is going to spot Maposhka, who tried to glimmer cape to safety, but instead he'll be stomped by XXS.
One-man Chrono gets the job done. If there's a disruption there, that could be a fight Spirit can take.
Yeah.
Pochko is just too far away.
Courier has lost its brave battle with a bunch of swords and fireballs. Taken too soon.
TeamSpirit are going to stay on the map. They still have that obs on the triangle, so they want to use it here if they can. Just to pick your targets carefully. We have a lot of single target bursts. That is one thing their lineup can excel at, and that was a gem on the ground?
Must have been Mapochka's?
Yeah, okay. Oh, they recover it.
It's good.
That is why his courier died. Well, I guess XG did not see it at all in the fight. Take a quick Tormentor. Boomerang. Some more Spell Amp. Why not? It's going to be Wind Waker off that Aether Lens for Collapse. So trying to get another source of Chrono Save or interrupt for a Pulverize going in. I like the idea because I think you have to kind of play for the other two cores. I think his game was just too slow to provide some scaling force on his own right now, and you have to contest this next shot. I think if you give Aegis here to the Faceless Void, that team fight is deadly. So you're trying to hit your own power spike right here. Try and get Yatoro and Collapse their next items. Use this Lesh as a front line and use that disruption to bail him out of the big Chrono. If all that happens, you can win a fight. You can take down one or two cores, have enough numbers that you can control Roshan.
If you're in the vicinity
XG do not want to let you get there.
Put on a hard hat. That baby is coming down.
DY is the one lagging behind the team right now, and he has the auras, but he can TP this outpost, and he will. So he will bait that fight on the front line.
Oh, they're definitely going to jump him. And they are going to pay a price for it. Immediately, XXS goes through, grabs the Mars, popped like a grape. He's just gone instantly. They do manage to trade out for DY, but again, it's a support for core. DY will take that every time.
This is for Roche control. All right, Lesh Stun, we've seen Laurel do some work with this shard.
Expectations going in the trees, very often a staging point for these team fights. Ame
got both up.
He'll got full support. He'll take that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Mows down the back line. TeamSpirit can no longer fight for this Roshan, but he's not up for a minute, so I guess they'll get a chance.
You say Ame popped those supports like two grapes there, Austin?
No. I said that for the Mars.
I'm saying, would you say it for that play?
No, I say they got mowed down.
Oh, they got cut down in their prime,
Yeah,
huh?
they got sheared.
I see. Just checking here. Trying to keep up with all your catchphrases.
No, I'm adding some variants now. 30 seconds until Roshan.
Later
Finally, somebody went back for the Mage Slayer. Man, I felt like this was all these hoodwinks. I know Gleipnir is the hot item, but I feel like Mage Slayer is still worth it on the hero.
Especially versus these magic carries, like Lesh. These heroes like Lesh, Pudge that don't have an alternate route. What do they do versus it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I agree. This item is still very strong on the right hero versus the right hero. Maybe it's not universally bought anymore, but it didn't just disappear entirely. XG still waiting for this Roche spawn. And, I mean, Spirit know it hasn't been done yet, so there's a world you can test here. There's no Chronosphere, no Thunder God for a little bit, and you just got your BKB on Lesh. Yeah, I think you fight this, actually. Take advantage of the fact this was delayed so long, and XG have not scouted it. They're not forcing it. You have a chance to take no Chronosphere fight for Roshan this game with a double BKB timing between your Morphling and your Leshrac. You have to take some risk to get back in this game at some point if you're Spirit, and this looks like the best opportunity you're going to have.
Yeah, this is your all-in comeback play. Oh, immediately! Ward Sentry gets him on the Gleipnir. No response, though, from the rest of Extreme. Switch hit Q, just showing he's ready. He's ready for you.
Oh, Yatoro going to create his own Zeus illusions.
Yeah. That's an idea. Don't know if it'll actually win you the fight. I would have thought turning into the Faceless Void is so important that you wouldn't put that on cooldown for the Zeus deal, but
they're just not going to force it. It just lets Chrono come back up here for XG.
Yeah, the roar goes off. The TeamSpirit, I mean, they knew they were around the Roshan pit in the first place. They left for a reason.
I mean, that tells me that Spirit believe they can win this game at that 50-60 minute mark.
Okay.
You know, late game Dota always comes down to execution, but it's going to be an uphill battle into the second Aegis here.
0 deaths on the 3 cores. You know that this is actually TeamSpirit, the only team in this finals whose carry has not experienced a deathless game in this tournament. And Ame is on track for his 4th of the tournament.
Things are looking dire.
I mean, deathless games are overrated.
Yeah, that's what a 5 position would say. Deaths don't matter.
You know what a deathless game says? That just means you gave up on the team.
Dire's historical
Yeah, what is a 20 death game?
It was named,
say?
of course, after
The team gave up on you.
Looks like all the details I was given. Radiant's courier just took a turn.
Aghanim Scepter up next for XXS, so he is an untouchable god, but he doesn't output the best damage. Once he gets that Axe, though, that'll all turn around. Thunder God's Wrath to scout things out, just like they did with Roshan earlier. Fortunately, this time Yatoro wasn't sitting at 400 HP.
Did kill that Jinkyu courier, so he lost his Mage Slayer for a little bit. A little extra value up the map right now, but XG are looking for the catch, and
okay, the arena cuts down the trees. XXS will still catch up to him, skewered the Ame, but it doesn't matter.
A nice little heads-up play. The rest of them get out, they get a tower, deep lane ward. They'll continue to wrap this map. And it's the Moon Shard Zeus. Oh my god. This is, some might say, the Hobo Harry build. Give him a little bit of a shout out.
Parasma.
I call it the trash can build. By another name, some might say.
I mean, what would you actually prefer over Moon?
I think this build is, I think you go Pike or Scotty, or like this type of scaling HP is not bad on the hero. I think Pike is really good on this hero. Just the defensive capability is amazing. Now the Parasma Moonshard is like the highest DPS build technically.
Yeah.
If you can get those hits off, but I also think it's a lot more unreliable without the Hurricane Pike.
I mean, I'd be down for the Scotty just because you're up against Morphling Leshrac.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's a great Scotty.
Yeah.
You don't need that much to get pretty good value. As long as you can land like one hit on him in a fight, it's gonna be annoying.
But they are kind of playing off of burst damage where XSS grabs somebody and then they hit the sharpshooter and they just want to output as much damage in a couple of seconds as possible.
I agree.
Right?
You have Primal and you have Void to go in and set kills up for you with the stuns. So maximizing the DPS here makes a lot of sense. He just has to have really good positioning in that fight to take advantage of it. You can also just BKB and sit there and click these heroes back. Right, let's say Lesh runs it, you just BKB and start hitting it back. I mean, I don't think he kills you that fast. The Morphling will kill you fast for sure.
Invisibility.
I mean, will he though? Because he can't stay, you know, low HP so often. Oh! He's just dead, just like that. Collapse is able to get the reset with the Wind Waker. Little grounded pound here onto Laurel. They throw the Chronosphere. It's actually whipped entirely. Ame will die as a result of that.
Yatoro going ham right now.
Oh, and he's going to look to drown the entire team as Extreme Gaming stuck inside of Arena cancels XXS's TP, finishes off XM, and leaves the big tanky boy for last. So much for a deathless run for the cores.
What a team fight from Spirit. I mean, that was just beautiful execution here. The first life gone completely. No rebuttal from XG. You use Pulverize to try and set this kill up on the Lesh, but the Chrono misses him. It doesn't matter too much in terms of killing the Lesh, but Ame just gets stuck in here, and Yatoro gets a free fight as a consequence. And he just drives Ame into the dirt here. Collapse will give his life to set up the arena and says, Yatoro, here is the buffet. Load your plate, son.
I'm sorry, what did we say Extreme had? The highest DPS hero, the harder carry, the tankiest hero. What did TeamSpirit have?
Yatoro.
Yatoro.
He makes that fight work, but that's just That's the front line from Spirit getting the dirty work done, right?
Yeah.
Like Yatoro gets the highlights there, but that is the Lesh and the Mars
Dude, this guy,
throwing their life down to set that up.
he is just clearing through buildings so quickly. He's already at the tier 3. Maposhka gets him some extra firepower with the disruption. They're going to take a tier 3 before Extreme Gaming does. He's level 25. He's taking a range barracks. Okay.
XG have definitely underestimated how much damage this Morphling does and how much farm Yatoro was finding in this game. Maybe they felt like they were a lot farther ahead than they were, which, you know, 12k lead is not bad, but this Morph was tied with your own cores. You give him a fight like that, he's gonna take advantage of it. Wind Waker done for collapse now, so you have double chrono save up between the Wind Waker and the disruption. Ame's game is not as straightforward anymore.
What do you think Yatoro thought about Ame's play in that last one?
I'm sure he'll let us know after the series if they win. I would not pretend to put my own
do you think
work.
he gives him excuses in his head?
Maybe. I don't know.
He's like, well, Ame's the best carry in the world.
Well, he didn't actually say Ame is the best carry.
I know.
He thinks he is.
Sure.
So obviously he can outplay Ame.
Success gets the grab onto the Morphling. Disruption to save is there, though. And he's going to be able to wait for him back. Along with the BKB. They actually go for the Chronosphere. BKB, they try to E-Blade save him. And Yatoro, they still manage to get the bash through. Yatoro has to be able to hop away, gets it out. Oh, and now Ame is starting running the low on damage. They throw out the finger, he easily time walks that off. Laurel push forward with his Bloodstone. Dan half health right now. DY's dealing with him. Ame commits. Meanwhile, XXS right in the middle of these heroes, spreading the damage around with his Aghanim Scepter. They get the support, still trying to chase down the cores, and they'll be able to finish up Laurel. A second Pulverize. He started the fight with Pulverize, and they'll end it with Pulverize too.
XXS just putting that team fight on his back. He did so much work just charging in there, takes the brunt of everything. And even though Ame does a lot of damage here, a lot of it goes into the Morphling.
How does it? Goddamn, Shinkyu.
Yeah, everybody just gets damage off because they all have to start backing up, and all these spells get thrown out.
Right.
A lot of damage goes in onto Yatoro there, which means he has to morph up really high, really fast. He just doesn't do any damage. He's running around right-clicking people half that fight with 150 base damage.
Grabs the Mars, pulls him back, gets the kill. Just like that, a little 1-2 punch.
Yeah, XG.Ame has the baby crit online. He is doing some deeps if they do not find him.
Goodness.
That type of fight, they do not find him. And it costs Spirit a lot here as they pull this game back, but not back enough. Lane for XG. Might back up here considering there's no Chrono, no Wrath. They're missing a BKB or two. Of course, that fourth core in the Hoodwink is coming online. I go back to the biggest strength of this hero in the current meta is he can always just win you these late game fights. I don't think there's another support in the game that does as much late game damage as this hero as reliable.
He's got the armor corruption off that 20 talent. As you said, the baby crit, soon to be the big boy crit.
Oh, he's got it. He has a full data if he wants to buy out.
Yeah.
He's got that armor corruption talent, like you said. So Grove Bow on top of all of that, Mage Slayer proc, Boomerang going in. It hurts. That is an acorn from hell. That's not an acorn, that's a cinder block. Someone's getting domed out here.
We're throwing a brick through people's window.
Someone's gonna get smashed in the skull.
They take another Tormentor. This one's for XXS. Speaking of throwing cinder blocks, XXS is now able to throw some boulders around.
And the Moon Shard's coming. Hex for the Zeus. He took a quick stop off for that. I like that. I don't think this Moon Shard is is that good this game. I don't know if it's changing a lot, but casual Hyperstone can be okay. He has Mind Slayer. He can do some extra right-click damage, but generally these fights feel like they're getting decided in those BKB durations as well.
Yeah. 5 shards. Extreme 4 for TeamSpirit.
Double Mindbreaker here means think about when you BKB, you get some clutch silence on the Morphling. Could mess Yatoro up pretty bad.
Love the fact that Jinkyu's still holding on to the Grove Bow.
Well, of course.
In fact, XM only changed out his tier 2 Whisper of the Dread for a tier 4. Skip past the tier 3 entirely.
And tier 3s are...
Okay,
old
now
news,
where were we?
They really are. It's the tier 2s that are the...
Yeah, they're better.
That's the good shit right there.
And we saw those big level 25s for both carries in this game. Really important talents. Backtrack online for Ame to try and dodge out some of this heavy burst damage from the Morphling. And the Morphling with his own level 25 matching him on the waveform cooldown. Really nice if Yatoro can get 2 or 3 of them off.
It also means he's got insane mobility. If he,
Oh, yeah.
He morphs into the Faceless Void. He's just, wait for him, time walk, wait for him, time walk.
You definitely want to find that right now. He ever gets tags off Roche or something, too.
I was going to say, imagine he gets tags and he's just waveforming attacking people and time walk attacking people. That's just all he does.
I mean, why not just go Ags Octarine?
Hell yeah.
What can they do?
Yeah, they can't do anything.
Can't. It's the ultimate strat. There'll be a banner on top of Aegis. Plus,
Toro's about to turn into Bruce Banner. He's got an amp damage rune.
they got a refresher shard. So they put the shard on Ame. He's building his own,
XXS
but not there
charging
yet.
forward. He says, whatever's here, we're killing it. Level 25 means that pulverize lasts forever.
Yatoro
Moshka gets put
as a
down
DD.
underground.
That is why Spirit were lingering there.
Yep.
He knows that's a rare opportunity.
It shows.
Cannot capitalize. Yatoro with all this strength. But what can you do with it? 2 lives for Ame, 2 chronos for Ame.
Trying to throw damage at him. Whoa. Okay, if you don't have the backtrack, you have the Sunder to undo the damage that is being done. It is so hard for them to be able to cut through Ame.
Wants an arena here, he wants a spear back.
Be able to get it, he's going to be able to stop this. Oh, they spot him immediately. Got the scythe on him while Mira is being run down by the Primal Beast. And he's making a run for it, too.
They clipped him with that Shiva's vision.
He's back in time, so he can try and form a defense for the second Rax.
Dyer's bottom barracks.
Last remaining Rax.
And so the breeding process begins for Dyer's barracks. I'm done.
XXS with his own 25 here. He's just a beast on the front line. This Primal's just been untouchable the entire game.
If you're in the vicinity of Dyer's top tower, I put on
The flank from TeamSpirit.
They're gonna catch the back line, go straight for the Zeus.
Target.
Try to assassinate him, but it doesn't quite work. They get off the Sunder, he gets off the BKB and walks through the walls. Oh, the Mars chasing after him, but it's not gonna be enough. Well, Ame, tell them some of the back line, they're gonna be able to buy back here. Chronosphere, etching Yatoro. Are they gonna be able to do the damage? No, the E-Blade goes off, so he deals the ball first. Waits for the E-Blade. Now Yatoro's able to get back, but without Laurel, how are they gonna be able to hold this? Without Collapse, how are they gonna be able to start the fight?
DY buyback. They want to end it right here, right now. Yatoro does not have his peak damage right now.
Second Chronosphere, Ame flocks another one.
And the 2-for-1 special. They are both for you, Yatoro. I gave you my message. I hope you enjoyed it.
Take the mana, Mira. We're gonna take your base. We're gonna take the victory in Game 1, Extreme Gaming. Get down the barrel of straightforward win in this later game team fight. They have that one hiccup, but man, things turned bad in the last couple of team fights for TeamSpirit. Now they'll fillet Yatoro, try and flex Mira before they get on out of here, but ultimately it is a pretty clean late game for Extreme. They went high ground, slipped up once, but other than that, look like such a damn good team, man. But they're on, these guys, they can take on anyone. TI winners don't matter.
I think a lot of that game